Deep within the remote mountains of the Hindu Kush in northwestern Pakistan lies an ancient enigma, an isolated tribe that has defied time and adversity for centuries. Known as the Kalash, these people have remained cut off from much of the world, thriving in one of the most unforgiving and treacherous landscapes on Earth. Their homeland, surrounded by towering, perilous peaks, is both breathtaking and nearly inaccessible, making survival a formidable challenge. What sets the Kalash apart is not only their resilience but also their distinct physical appearance, which sharply contrasts with the rest of Pakistan's population. Their unique features, combined with their vibrant cultural traditions, have long fascinated those who have encountered them. Despite their isolation, the Kalash embrace a way of life that is both deeply rooted in ancient customs and remarkably progressive. Unlike many of their neighboring communities, they celebrate marriages based on love and practice gender equality, values that stand out in a region where such principles remain rare. Join us in this new episode of Uncensored World as we uncover the hidden secrets of the Kalash, one of the most mysterious and secluded tribes on the planet. Some believe they are direct descendants of Alexander the Great's soldiers, a theory that adds yet another layer of intrigue to their enigmatic origins. However, this extraordinary culture faces an uncertain future, as modern influences and external pressures threaten their very existence. Even in the 21st century, the Kalash continue to uphold traditions that have been passed down for millennia, largely due to their remote and nearly impenetrable surroundings. This is a people whose way of life offers a rare glimpse into an ancient world, one that may soon disappear if not protected. Stay with us, and prepare to explore what is possibly one of the most extraordinary yet little-known civilizations still in existence today. Before diving deeper into their culture, it's essential to understand that much of what makes the Kalash so unique, both in appearance and traditions, is closely tied to their environment. They inhabit one of the most formidable and isolated regions on Earth, a place defined by breathtaking but dangerous landscapes. This area is home to some of the highest mountain ranges in the world, making it a land of both mystery and extreme beauty. Pakistan, the country they call home, is located in South Asia, sharing borders with Afghanistan to the north and northwest, India to the east, Iran to the west, and the Arabian Sea to the south. Covering approximately 882,000 square kilometers, it is the fifth most populous country in the world, with over 240 million inhabitants. Yet, despite this immense population, the Kalash remain a tiny and isolated ethnic group, living in a region so remote and harsh that few other communities could endure its challenges. Pakistan's geography is as diverse as it is dramatic, ranging from the fertile plains of Punjab to the vast Thar Desert and the snow-capped peaks of the Himalayas. In the north, the country boasts some of the world's most awe-inspiring mountain ranges, including the Himalayas, the Karakoram, and the Hindu Kush. These towering giants are not just a breathtaking sight, they are also home to countless glaciers and rivers that sustain life in the valleys below. For centuries, these natural water sources have allowed the Kalash to survive in an otherwise unforgiving landscape. This region, often referred to as the Land of Giant Mountains, remains one of the most remote and least explored areas on the planet. Even in the modern age, vast portions of these mountains remain untouched, preserving ancient cultures that have changed little over time. It is crucial to recognize that Pakistan, as a nation, was only established a few decades ago, and much of its population has historical ties to India. However, the Kalash have lived in these mountains for countless generations, long before modern borders were drawn. Nestled in deep valleys surrounded by towering peaks, the Kalash people have maintained their way of life for centuries. Their homeland is a fortress of nature, its rugged terrain, extreme climate, and lack of accessible routes have both protected and isolated them from the outside world. This remoteness has allowed their traditions to endure, untouched by time, while also making them one of the most vulnerable cultures in existence today. As we continue, we will delve even deeper into the incredible story of the Kalash, a people whose past is shrouded in legend, whose traditions are unlike any other, and whose future hangs in the balance. One of the key factors that has allowed the Kalash to preserve their unique culture and remain largely untouched by outside influences is their isolation in the rugged terrain of the Hindu Kush. However, their origins remain one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of Central Asian history. Even today, science has yet to definitively determine where this ancient tribe came from, making their existence all the more intriguing. For centuries, speculation has surrounded the Kalash due to their distinct customs, traditions, and physical appearance, which set them apart from the surrounding communities in Pakistan. Among the most captivating theories is the belief that the Kalash are direct descendants of Alexander the Great's soldiers, warriors who may have settled in the region over 2,000 years ago after his legendary military campaigns. While this idea is popular and deeply rooted in local folklore, there is no concrete scientific proof to support it. Most of the evidence comes from historical narratives and oral traditions passed down through generations. Historians and anthropologists have attempted to verify this claim through genetic studies and cultural comparisons. Some genetic analyses have suggested a link between the Kalash and certain European populations, which could support the theory of Greek ancestry. However, other experts argue that these similarities may be the result of much older migrations, unrelated to Alexander the Great. The question of their true origins remains unresolved, further deepening the mystery surrounding this extraordinary people. What is undeniable is that the Kalash have managed to preserve their identity through centuries of isolation. Shielded by the towering, nearly impassable peaks of the Hindu Kush, they have maintained a way of life that has remained largely resistant to external influences. This physical seclusion has not only allowed myths about their potential Greek heritage to persist but has also made it incredibly difficult for researchers to establish definitive links to their past. The geography of the region has served as both a refuge and a barrier. For centuries, the Hindu Kush Mountains have been considered one of the most dangerous and inaccessible terrains in the world. This natural fortress has helped the Kalash protect their traditions from outside interference, making them the guardians of an ancient legacy that continues to fascinate all who venture into their homeland. The treacherous mountain paths, nearly impossible to navigate for outsiders unfamiliar with the terrain, have further ensured the tribe's safety from external threats while also preventing them from being swept up in the cultural transformations that have shaped neighboring civilizations. However, the Kalash's isolation is not just geographical, it is also cultural and spiritual. Nestled in a landscape that looks like something out of an ancient world, they have built an identity shaped as much by their natural surroundings as by their customs and beliefs. Their traditions contrast sharply with those of Pakistan's majority Muslim population, making them one of the most distinct ethnic groups in the region. Travelers and researchers who make the arduous journey into Kalash territory often find themselves in awe of a community that has remained largely unchanged by time. Despite living in one of the harshest environments on Earth, the Kalash continue to thrive, their survival a testament to their resilience and deep connection to their ancestral land. The origins of the Kalash remain a subject of debate, but their physical features provide another fascinating clue to their uniqueness. Unlike the majority of Pakistan's population, many Kalash individuals have strikingly light eyes, ranging from deep blue to shades of green, and hair colors that vary from blonde to light brown. These features are rare in the Indian subcontinent, further fueling the theory that they may have European or Mediterranean ancestry. Some believe this is evidence of their link to Alexander the Great's army, while others argue that these traits could be remnants of ancient migrations that predate his conquests. Beyond their appearance, the Kalash's customs and festivals are completely distinct from the religious traditions of the surrounding Muslim-majority nation. They have preserved an ancestral way of life that remains independent from the dominant cultural norms of the region. Their rituals, celebrations, and spiritual beliefs set them apart in a way that makes them one of the most extraordinary indigenous communities in the world. As we continue exploring their story, we will uncover even more about the Kalash, their ancient traditions, their struggles to preserve their heritage, and the challenges they face in the modern world. Stay with us as we dive deeper into the life of one of the most enigmatic and fascinating tribes still in existence today. One of the most natural and sacred traditions of their culture. The Bashali is not just a place for childbirth but also serves as a space for women during their menstrual cycles, reinforcing the Kalash's distinct beliefs about purity and the cycles of life. Though this practice may seem unusual to outsiders, it is deeply rooted in their customs and is considered an essential part of their way of life. The enigmatic and resilient Kalash. While much of the world continues to evolve and integrate into modern globalization, the Kalash have remained steadfast in their traditions. Their unique customs, vibrant festivals, and emphasis on freedom, particularly for women, make them one of the most fascinating indigenous groups in the world. Despite their small population, fewer than 4,000 individuals, the Kalash continue to thrive in their remote valleys, celebrating life in ways that set them apart from the rest of Pakistan. The challenges they face, however, are significant. Modernization, external influences, and social pressures threaten their ancient traditions. Some members of the Kalash community have gradually adopted elements of mainstream Pakistani culture, and there have even been instances of conversion to Islam. As a result, their traditional way of life is at risk of fading away. Yet, for those who visit the Kalash valleys, the experience is nothing short of magical. Their festivals, such as the Chilam Joshi, Uchao, and Choamas, are a vibrant display of dance, music, and devotion to nature. The women, dressed in their elaborately embroidered robes and beaded headdresses, move with grace as they celebrate their ancestry and the spirits of the land. The unique traditions of the Kalash people. The Bashali is not just a birthing place for Kalash women. It also serves as a refuge during menstruation, following a deeply rooted cultural tradition. During these times, women temporarily separate from the rest of the community, emphasizing their connection to life and nature. This feminine space, set apart from the main homes, reflects the ancestral customs of the Kalash and their unique understanding of purity and the life cycle. While this practice may seem unusual to outsiders, for Kalash women, it is a fundamental aspect of their identity and culture. Isolation in the Bashali is not just about separation, it is also a time for festivities, traditions, and self-reflection. Women immerse themselves in their spirituality, strengthening their bond with nature and their community. This period allows them to prepare for new life while honoring their role within Kalash society. Preserving ancient birth practices. Despite modernization and the influence of contemporary medicine, many Kalash women continue to prefer home births. They rely on ancestral knowledge and the support of experienced women in their community. For them, this practice represents both independence and a deep connection to their traditions that have been passed down for centuries. This resilience highlights the strength of Kalash culture, which remains unique in a rapidly changing world. A religion unlike any other in Pakistan. The beliefs of the Kalash people differ greatly from those of the majority of Pakistan's population, who primarily practice Islam. The Kalash keep alive an ancient polytheistic religion, deeply rooted in the veneration of gods, spirits, and natural forces. Their religious rituals include offerings and animal sacrifices, honoring supernatural beings believed to govern different aspects of life and nature. It is during festivals that Kalash spirituality comes to life. Circle dances, ceremonial chants, and seasonal celebrations mark their connection to nature's cycles. Key events, such as the Joy Spring celebration and the Chamos Winter Festival, serve as moments of gratitude and prayer for prosperity. During these festivals, animal sacrifices are performed on sacred altars, and the protection of the gods is invoked. Their belief system ties deeply to the natural environment, making religion a fundamental aspect of their identity. Wine, a sacred tradition. One of the most distinct features of Kalash culture is the production and consumption of wine. This sharply contrasts with the rest of Pakistan, where alcohol is prohibited under Islamic law. For the Kalash, wine is not just a drink, it is a sacred element of their rituals and festivals. During religious ceremonies, it is shared communally, symbolizing joy, celebration, and spiritual connection. The Kalash have practiced grape growing and winemaking for centuries, passing down this tradition through generations. Despite legal restrictions, they continue to defend their right to preserve this essential part of their heritage. The future of the Kalash people. With a population of just 3,000 to 4,000 people, the Kalash community faces increasing challenges. Cultural pressure, climate change, and migration to urban areas threaten their way of life. The Pakistani government and NGOs have introduced programs promoting sustainable tourism and cultural preservation, recognizing the importance of this unique heritage. However, despite these efforts, the Kalash must fight to maintain their identity in a rapidly changing world. The role of wine in Kalash culture. For the Kalash, wine is more than just a social drink. It is a central element in their rituals and festivities. During religious ceremonies and community gatherings, wine is consumed communally, symbolizing joy, celebration, and spiritual connection. This sacred and festive use of wine reinforces the unique identity of the Kalash and their resistance to outside influences that attempt to change their customs. An ancestral tradition under threat. Grape growing and winemaking have been traditional practices for the Kalash for centuries, passed down from generation to generation. However, legal restrictions in Pakistan often complicate these activities. Despite these challenges, the community continues to defend their right to preserve these ancestral customs, which form an essential part of their way of life and cultural festivals. For the Kalash, wine is not just a beverage, it is a symbol of unity that connects their present with their historical roots. Efforts to preserve Kalash culture. The Pakistani government and various NGOs are actively working to ensure the survival of the Kalash and the preservation of their rich culture. With a current population of just 3,000 to 4,000 members, the community faces an uncertain future. To support them, programs have been implemented to promote sustainable tourism and celebrate their traditional festivals, recognizing the importance of their unique heritage. Challenges threatening the Kalash way of life. Despite these efforts, the Kalash face numerous challenges, including cultural pressure from surrounding Muslim communities, climate change, affecting their land and resources, migration of youth to urban areas in search of better opportunities. These and other factors put their identity and traditions at risk, emphasizing the urgent need to support their struggle to maintain their heritage. We hope this video has helped you discover one of the most remote and lesser-known tribes on the planet. If you found it interesting, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Your support allows us to continue bringing you fascinating content like this every week. If you want to explore more incredible places and cultures, check out our next video. You will enjoy it.